You might think that fall essentials are the same every year, but you'd be wrong. I think all of those lists that are telling us what fall essentials are why we constantly find ourselves buying the same thing over and over, and why we look at our closets and we're like, I'm so bored. So then of course we think we're bored, we need new things, which is not the case. But today, no more of that. Okay, we stop. Today, we choose creativity. We choose our own taste. I'm gonna offer more interesting alternatives to these essentials. Maybe it's like an essential with a twist, so that we can see what's already in our closet with fresh eyes, because I think we'll probably also have a lot of these alternates, or so that we can add new items to our closet with more intention and which offer more variation, so that you can get more use out of the clothes already in your closet. There's no doubt that a basic black and/or brown boot is really valuable in any fall wardrobe. And I'm not saying that we should completely ignore these amazing neutrals, but maybe we can look for them with some different textures. Something like animal print, faux croc. What happens when we add these textures with neutral tones is create more depth in our looks. Especially if you've got a minimal or highly neutral closet like mine, adding depth through these textures can make for much more interesting outfits. I personally think anything animal print is a classic, but a colorful boot or something that has a lot of sculptural detail could also add the same amount of interest. But there you're focusing more on a different shape. If color is what you're after to add interest, make sure it's one that integrates well with the colors already in your closet so you actually get good wear out of it. Fall clothes have a lot more structure and visual weight to them. These heavier textures and more straight and clean lines, solid structures. These add a bit of a heaviness, perhaps even a severity to our fall wardrobes. And I always talk about how contrast is a really great way to add interest to a look. So we can easily do this by pulling bags in from our other seasons and incorporating them with our fall wear. What works is that the bag is a little bit larger, but look for bags in perhaps lighter colors. Maybe you have something that is printed, that is bright. And I also like to look for a bag that has a softer, more malleable texture, because this really adds a contrast to these more structured, heavier fall pieces. Changing out your bag is going to add so much freshness to your fall coats and looks. Fall is like the Super Bowl for blazers, and I don't know about you, but I'd like an alternative. Instead of going out and buying something else, what if we just considered blazers as an overlayer? Could just be any third or top piece. So I, for example, am using this amazing vest. I just received it from Smythe, actually. Fantastic Canadian company. And I consider this an overlayer option that is a great alternative to a blazer. I love how I get the structure and menswear vibe of a blazer, but it's so much more versatile because I can layer it both under and over things. Maybe you've got an old varsity jacket or a chunkier cardigan. Change that into acting like a blazer. How would you wear it? How would you wear it differently if you would wear that piece like a blazer? Switch the context around and see what you come up with. Changing the context of a single piece is one of my favorite creative exercises to help me see my closet with fresh eyes and come up with new creative ways to style the pieces I already have. Okay, don't come after me for this one, but I think our athletic sweaters can have a place in our fall wardrobe. Yes, don't get me wrong, I love my classic merinos and my cashmere. Nothing tops those. But we're not here for that. We're here for the little misfits in our closet, those pieces that make outfits interesting and kind of weird and offbeat. To make our sporty pieces feel more polished, you can add a shirt with a nice collar underneath. Just do the classic tee or tank underneath and a nice necklace that echoes the collar. You could also do a collared shirt underneath, give it a little bit of a preppy vibe. I've done this with a chambray shirt, but you could do this with just a regular cotton poplin. That would be good too. Another easy way to elevate this is just to wear it with a belt. If you're wearing this with jeans, it'll just feel sloppy. So if you are wearing it with jeans, I always add a really nice elevated belt. This one is from Brave Leather, another amazing Canadian company. I would also love to see this sweater styled with like a crisp pair of trousers. I think that would look so good. The Italians do this last one so well. A coat that has a ton of personality. Don't get me wrong, I love my classic navy blue coat from the Curated. I am like in love with it, absolutely. But given coats are pretty much our entire outfit from October to April, I think we should have a few in our arsenal and at least one that is standout, statement-y. It has a lot of personality. If you have one and you struggle with wearing it because it's got a lot of texture or a lot of color, make sure that you're wearing it with shapes that you know, or make sure that it's a shape that you are familiar styling. Silhouettes and shapes are what I think bring us either the most comfort or discomfort when we are putting on our clothes. So if the shape is something that you're comfortable and familiar with, you're already there. The color, the texture, the crazy details, those are just gonna be extra icing on a very cool cake. A bright or interesting coat that has a lot of personality can also have positive psychological effects as well. The fall is dark, it's cold, we're battling elements more than in the summer, so giving ourselves that psychological and mental boost with a coat that is interesting and fun can be a very powerful statement, both for our style but also for our brains. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you have any of these essentials with a twist in the comments below, or what you would consider a more interesting alternative to an essential. I think this community is one of the strongest, coolest, most creative on the internet. So let's help each other out. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here, for caring about slow fashion. If you liked this video, if you learned something new, even if it just gave you something else to think about, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I will be back with another slow fashion video. Thank you so much for watching. Yeah, that's all I got. Love ya. Ciao.